everyone, I'm Beth from Huntington Valley Library, and I am here with some new YA book recommendations. This month is February, and we are celebrating Black History Month. So I have a collection of YA fantasy novels written by Black authors, all about Black characters. And there are some that are on these shelves that are my absolute favorite books of the past few years, so I'm very excited to share them with you. First, if you haven't read Children of Blood and Bone yet, this is definitely something that you need to add to your to-be-read list. This is by Tomi Adeyemi. This is from 2018, and it's a great fantasy world that is all about magic and the suppression of that magic. The world is set up really nicely, and the plot, it moves very quickly. It's written from a few different character perspectives, and they flip-flop back and forth. And of course, it left us with a great cliffhanger. But the great news is the next book in the series is already out. So if you haven't read this yet, you're not gonna have to wait to find out what happens to the main characters, because Children of Virtue and Vengeance is also already out. Gorgeous covers, love these books. Both are available as an audio and an ebook on Libby and Hoopla, so if that's how you'd like to read, you are certainly welcome to do that because you have options because they're so very popular and with good reason. Another really popular book that I absolutely loved from last year, this is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is set actually in our real world with elements of magic layered on top. It takes place in UNC Chapel Hill. It's a student who is doing a program at UNC, and she is learning all about her own history, and that is based on the Arthurian legends and the Knights of the Round Table. So there's some really interesting stuff going on in here, and she won some awards as a debut author for this book, and again, with very good reason. So if you're into Arthurian legend, this is the book because it takes a completely new spin on those tales that we're all so familiar with. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Also set in our world here, but with magical realism layered over top, is A Song Below Water. This is by Bethany C. Morrow. I featured this book a few months back on Talk Like a Pirate Day when I was talking about books all about mermaids and sirens, because that's the layer of magic that we're talking about for this one. This is a really great book. It says so much about the suppression of her voice, literally, because she is a siren, and you will find out in the plot of this story what that means in the culture and in the world in which we live with that layer on top. This is also available as an ebook on Libby if you'd like to read it that way. And I'm pretty sure the sequel called A Chorus Rises is coming out this summer. So that is going to be well and highly anticipated, and again, for good reason, because this was a great book this year. Another one of my favorites. This is a fairy tale rewrite. This is Cinderella is Dead by Kalynn Bayron. I loved this book. Basically, it is a Cinderella rewrite if the girls that are trying to compete for the prince's affections are being forced into it by society. So there's a definite layer of feminism on it, and it's really, really good. This one also, new author and very popular. So I would definitely very much recommend this if you're into those fairy tale rewrites. This is just a completely new idea and a little bit dark. I liked it. All right, here's another epic high fantasy book, A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. This was a really good one. If you like the setting up of a history of a culture and the setting up of the world, this is amazingly detailed. It's a big one, all right? There's another one coming out really soon, I think, as a sequel to this. But here's what I really liked about this book. Also written from a few different character perspectives, and one of them suffers from anxiety attacks. And that plays into the plot of the story in a really nice way, in a way that I've never seen written before in a YA book. It was just a really interesting take and something that you don't often read about. So I really appreciated that from this author. This is Roseanne A. Brown. I just thought it was a really new voice that was worth being heard, and you should read it either in the book form or as an audio or an ebook on Libby, okay? So So that is a nice one. Okay, Kingdom of Souls, Witch Doctors. This one's really fun. The sequel to it just came out last week. That's Reaper of Souls. This is another really great book. This is by Rena, Barron. Definitely darker. Like I said, this is Witch Doctors. Really interesting influences and very cool setup. This is also available as an audio and an ebook on Hoopla. And Reaper of Souls will be entering into circulation in our system very soon. But like I said, it was just out in the past week or so. So that's Reaper of Souls if you're into witchcraft. If you're more interested in a sci-fi take in your fantasy, we have War Girls and Rebel Sisters. This is a series by Tochi Onyebuchi. These are both really interesting, set in the future, definitely more of a sci-fi over fantasy, but it's about the relationship between the two of them, set in sort of war-torn situation. They're really interesting. And this is also the author of Beasts Made of Night, which is an older book and more of a fantasy level for that. That's what it looks like. So these are really cool. Definitely something to check out. We have them both. Last but not least, if you just don't have time to read a full novel, we have a book of short stories as well. This is an anthology called A Phoenix First Must Burn, and this is 16 stories of Black girl magic, resistance, and hope. So there are a bunch of great authors featured in here if you need it in shorter spurts because you're doing schoolwork or whatever. But you've got Elizabeth Acevedo in here, Charlotte Nicole Davis, Justina Ireland, the author of Dread Nation, which is the zombies in the Civil War one that I've recommended a few times before. L.L. McKinney is in here, and Danielle Page, among many, many others, including E.B. Zaboy. So there are a bunch of really great stories in here, all of them featuring Black characters, fantastical worlds, and Black girl magic. So this would be a really great read and an option for you if you're not into these big, heavy, epic fantasies, which some of us really love. This is also available as an audio on Hoopla if you don't even want to read your short stories and you want to listen to them instead. But as a reminder, we are here. We are open for you for curbside pickup. So if you want to check out any of these books, either give us a call to put them on hold, or you can do that with our online catalog on our website. You can put them on hold. We'll let you know when they're in, and you can swing by and pick up your reading, okay? So I hope that you have found some new reading to do, featuring some Black authors and the world of fantasy. And we hope you're doing well. See you soon.